wanted to discuss one of the books we published in our society, Follow the Angels, because this deals with so many of the important subjects in Gaudiya Vaishnavism that are fundamental to Krishna consciousness. The grandness of Krishna's conception, that we were captured by Srila Sridhara Maharaja's description, his glorious and overview of Krishna, describing him as the most grand and the most fulfilling in every way, that Krishna is the summum bonum, the highest perfection that we can reach in this lifetime is to know Krishna and to relate to Krishna and to serve Krishna, to be with Krishna and to understand Krishna. So this book is revealing all that.
Some people consider it their best book of Sridhar Maharaj. So it definitely has a lot of compilation effort.
Well, that's true. We did dive very deeply into this book. And at one point, we were there in West Paulette, Vermont, in our little cave up on the second floor, where Srila Maharaja and I were staying for some months. And I was alone there, actually, at the time, when we did most of the work on this book. And I had statements from the book spread all over the floor. Little statements, sentences, paragraphs, a few words, and it was just like a jigsaw puzzle, arranging them in order, because, well, the way Srila Sridhara Maharaj spoke, often when he would give a talk, he would speak on unlimited subjects, sometimes 30, 40 subjects, sometimes 2 or 3, but he didn't limit it. So you will find that throughout the talks, lectures, and conversations of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he covered just about every subject you can imagine and more, and not in any particular order. So when we made a folio of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, we generally would enter the manuscripts, the transcripts of once they were transcribed from the original talks to a typed in form, then we could enter them as documents, and then we could edit them and we could rearrange them. So we started out that way, because then the words were searchable. If he talks about Akila Rasamrita Murti or Krishna, some of his potencies or something, we could look up those particular words and find where they were discussed by Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And in this way, we were able to find where he spoke on similar subjects in many, many different places. And sometimes they didn't follow any particular order generally, but overall there's a logical flow to it. All he's presenting Krishna to us and all his glories in a way that is very attractive.
How did you come up with the title of this book, Follow the Angels?
Following the angels was meant as following these great souls. Following Srila Sridhar Maharaja, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Srila Prabhupada, all of our gurus have guided us on this path. A large part of this particular book deals with some of those warnings. And in particular, he warned about taking the process too cheaply, which is we call the Sahaja line, where they think or they believe that they have attained a high position of devotion by imitation, by imitating these activities, or simply by chanting, they'll chant purely, where this is all imaginary because it's not so easy. And it cheapens the whole process, whereby we can obtain these results very cheaply. I once visited with some other Vaishnavas this one so-called bogey yogi kind of guy that was a guru, And he was practicing in the San Francisco area, so we were writing our Clearing Call magazine then, and we were publishing that. So we were looking for articles about different societies and different belief systems. So we went to this one so-called guru, and he was lecturing and saying, I can give you God consciousness in 3 minutes. In 3 minutes. And then one of the devotees who was with us, his name was Ratnabahu from Australia, he said, he raised a question. He said, do you mean to tell me that which the yogis spend lifetimes chasing and meditators meditate on for lifetimes and people chant mantras their whole life to try to obtain, says, you mean to tell me that you can achieve that state in 3 minutes? And then the man's reply was, 2 minutes! I can do it in 2 minutes, I can give this. So that proved to us that he's a cheater. He's saying he can give it to us so cheaply, whereas we know from our own experience that it does not come so easily. It takes time. We have to work at it. When have you gotten something for free in this world that wasn't a cheating process, that was a real thing? When did you get something worthwhile by paying a cheap price for it? You know,
Yep.
Usually you get what you pay for. And if you pay a cheap price, you get a piece of junk which is going to break.
So that's how this fools tread in. The
Fools, yes.
Yeah.
Fools will rush in
Russian. Yeah.
and eager to get the result that they feel is going to come right away, but they don't get that. They get cheated. They get something else. So really it comes down to, we need to find someone who is a true representative of the Lord and who will present this philosophy in a real way, a real agent. Dhammasya tattvam niyatam guhayam. That the guha, the cave of the heart of the Vaishnava, is the place where this knowledge is hidden. It's hidden in the heart of the devotee. So they follow their inclination. The devotee is animated by devotion. He is enlivened by devotion. He's following the process of devotion, whereas others may be following some other whim or something else in life. But the devotee is actually enlivened and seeing the devotion in the hearts of others and in the scriptures, in all these places. Whereas the Shastra itself, the book, is passive. It cannot preach to us. If we leave the book on the shelf, it will remain there forever, and we will not avail ourselves of it. So in order to enter into this, we have to pick up the book and read it and enter into it. And so the Vaishnavas are full of this knowledge. They become filled up with it, so that they are reservoirs of this knowledge and they can teach it to us. And in fact, all of our gurus are those who have come before us and studied before us, studied from the previous gurus, and now they're passing it on to us, and we will learn it from them and pass it on in the future to other Vaishnavas.